Hello students, this is Abdullah Momin from On Target Classes. I am here with another video, and in this video we are going to study stationary waves or standing waves with the help of some visualization and animation. But before starting the lecture, let me tell you one very important thing, that after watching this video you can take physics quiz about this topic. The link is given in the description, and you can tell us your score in the comment section. So in our previous videos we have seen that waves shows us different phenomena. We have studied the different phenomena associated with waves, and one of the phenomena is reflection, and we have seen the reflection of transverse wave from fixed end and from free end. So when wave reflected from a fixed end, the crust will be reflected back as a trough, or it is a if it is a trough, it will be reflected back as a crust. And if a wave is reflecting from a free end, the crust will be reflected back as a crust. This is the reflection which we have studied in one of our previous video. And if you want to see this phenomena in detail, if you want to learn this phenomena in details, the link is given in the description. So the next phenomena what we have studied is about interference of waves. We have studied two types of interference, constructive interference and destructive interference. When two waves having same phase met with each other, the resultant amplitude we will get maximum, and it is called as constructive interference. And when two waves are out of phase, when they arrive at a point in a medium, they will produce destructive interference pattern. And this interference of waves we have studied with the help of principle of superposition of waves in our previous lecture. Just click on the I button and watch this whole concept in details. Study this whole concept of interference of the wave in detail. Now, when reflection and interference, they both happens at the same time, then the combination, with the help of the combination of these two phenomena, what we will get, it is called as stationary wave or standing wave. So in stationary wave produces due to reflection as well as due to interference of the wave. So in stationary wave we are going to start the definition first. We will see what is a stationary wave, how a stationary wave produces in a medium, and then we will see the properties of a stationary wave or a standing wave one by one. So first we are going to see the definition of a stationary wave. So a stationary wave, when two identical waves traveling along the same path in opposite direction interfere with each other, resultant wave is called as stationary wave or standing wave. So what is the criteria here? The two waves must be identical. Two identical waves, that means both waves should have same amplitude and both waves should have same frequency. When the two identical waves which are having same amplitude, which are having same frequency, traveling in the same path but in opposite direction, when these two waves interfere with each other, the resultant wave we will get is called as a stationary wave. Now stationary waves can be formed on a string, and this diagram shows us the stationary waves formation of stationary waves on a string. So here you can see that the portion of the wave which is solid, this solid line indicating the one wave, and this wave is reflecting from this rigid support, and then we are, after reflection we will get this dash line, and when this solid line and this dash line both interfere with each other, we will get stationary wave. So first what we are getting here, there is one wave which is solid line. This wave is traveling in a medium in one direction, and after hitting this rigid wall it is reflecting back, and this reflected wave and this incident wave are going to superimposed with each other, and due to this we will get a stationary wave. And in a stationary wave, these arrows are indicating the direction of motion of the particle or the vibration of particle. When a stationary wave forms in a medium, particles vibrate in vertical plane, and there are certain points in the region at which the displacement of these particles are minimum. That regions are called as node, and the regions at which the displacement of the particle is maximum, these regions are called as antinode. Now let us understand the formation of standing wave on a string by this demonstration video.
We've seen that we can set up standing waves on a rope. We're going to demonstrate that with this spring. Recall that a standing wave arises when a wave starting at one end is reflected back from a post which doesn't move, and the combination or the interference between the wave going in this direction and the wave reflected back in that direction leads to a pattern called a standing wave. Now, a standing wave can be characterized in different ways by the number of nodes or points that don't move, and also by the number of harmonics. We can describe the standing wave pattern in different ways. We'll see that, and let's take a look at some examples, okay? Randy over here is going to start causing the spring to vibrate. Let's watch this. This is called the fundamental mode, or the first harmonic. Notice the only points which do not move are the end points of the spring. Otherwise, there are no other nodes in this pattern. Notice also that for this mode, the wavelength of this wave is twice the length of the spring. If you imagine continuing this wave beyond Randy, you'd see the full wavelength. Now, in order to go into another mode or another pattern, we have to stop the spring and start over again. Okay. Now, here we have another mode. Notice that in this mode, we have a node, a point over here where the spring is not moving, okay? Correspondingly, there are also points where the spring moves the maximum amount. Those are called antinodes, okay? This is called the second harmonic. It's the pattern which forms when one node is present in the middle. Let's watch that for a few seconds. Okay? Now, Randy's very talented. Let's see if he can get two nodes in the standing wave pattern. We see that in addition to the nodes, the points at the end, which we always expect, there's now one node over here and one node over here. Let's watch that for a few seconds. Notice that in between the nodes, there are points where the spring moves very, very far over here, which are called antinodes. This pattern or mode on the spring is called the third harmonic. Let's stop it now. Let's go for one more node, if we can do it. Now, in addition to the nodes at the end, we have one node over here in the middle, one node over here in the middle, a third node over here. Note that between every two nodes, There's a region of maximum displacement, which is called an antinode. This is called the fourth harmonic. Let's watch it for a few seconds. Okay. So let's review. We can set up a standing wave on a rope or a spring like this when the wave leaving Randy's hand bounces back and interferes with the next wave leaving Randy's hand and forms sort of a stationary looking pattern. We can set up standing waves of different numbers of nodes, points which do not move, depending on how fast Randy moves his arm up and down, and this goes on and on and on. We can form an almost endless series of patterns.
This image showing the formation of a stationary wave in an air column. This air column is closed at one end. So we are going to send the wave inside this air column through its open end, and the wave will reflect back from the closed end of the pipe. And when this incident wave and when this reflected wave superimposes each other, we will get a stationary wave. Now there are certain points at which the displacement is minimum. These points are called as node, and here it is denoted by N. And there are certain points of the medium at which the particles vibrate with maximum amplitude. These are called as antinode. So these two, image A illustrates the example of a stationary wave on a string, and this image B is the stationary wave of an air column. So a stationary wave is nothing but when two identical waves traveling in the same path but in opposite direction interfere with each other. So the resultant wave is called as a stationary wave or standing wave. Here we will see the standing waves from two propagating waves. So the very top wave, which is red one, that is the first wave which is traveling towards right. Now below that wave, the blue wave is the second wave which is traveling towards the left. So we will say that this red wave and this blue wave, both waves are traveling in opposite direction. And when these two waves are interfering with each other, the resultant wave we are getting, that is the third wave, that black wave is the resultant of red and blue wave. So what is happening here, when crust of these two waves superimposes with each other, we will get the maximum amplitude. When crust of one wave interfere with trough of another wave, we will get the minimum amplitude, and that is called as node. Look at this point. This point is not moving from its place, and we can say that the amplitude of this point is minimum. So this point is node, and the point of a wave which is moving with maximum amplitude, this point of the black wave is covering the maximum distance. It is moving downward direction as well as upward direction from its mean position, and it is covering the maximum distance. So we will say that this point of a medium has maximum displacement, so it is called as antinode. This point is minimum displacement, it is called node. This point is maximum displacement, it is called as antinode. Node, antinode, node, antinode, these are the points of the medium at which we are getting minimum and maximum amplitude, and this point we will get alternately. In order to understand the formation of a stationary wave more clearly, we are going to see this animation here. The top wave is your first wave which is traveling towards right direction. Then below that, the second wave which is traveling towards the left direction. And when these top two waves superimposes with each other, we will get the stationary wave, and that is the last third wave. Fxt plus gxt is your third wave, that is your stationary wave. So what is happening here? These are the two waves, that is fxt and gxt are your two waves. These two waves are having same amplitude and same frequency, but they are traveling in opposite direction. So when they will superimposes with each other, now look at this point. At this point, we will say the crust of one wave and the crust of another wave is getting superimposed with each other. And we can also say that the trough of first wave and the trough of second wave is getting superimposed with each other. So we will say that the first and second wave are in phase, and the resultant wave which we will get will be having maximum displacement or will be having maximum amplitude. So this is the resultant of first and second wave, and the displacement of these two waves are maximum. This is due to the principle of superposition of wave, that is your constructive interference pattern. Now after some time, these are the point at which these two waves are almost out of phase. We will say that this is the trough of first wave, this is the crust of second wave, and the trough and crust of two waves are superimposing with each other. So the resultant wave will have almost minimum or zero amplitude. So here these two waves are out of phase. When these two waves are superimposing with each other, we are getting destructive interference pattern. And in destructive interference pattern, the resultant amplitude is minimum. So constructive, destructive, then constructive. At this point, we will get destructive interference because first wave and second wave at this point, the trough of first wave superimposing the crust of first wave superimposing the trough of second wave, the crust of first wave at this point, the crust of first wave superimposing with the trough of second wave. So we will say that these two waves are out of phase, and the resultant we will get destructive interference, and the resultant wave will have minimum amplitude or zero amplitude. When a stationary wave forms in a medium, this particle is not moving from its position, or we will say that this particle is having minimum amplitude or minimum displacement. So this point is called as node. Similarly, if you will see this point is also not moving, or the displacement of this point is minimum. So it is also called as node. Similarly, look at this point. This point is not moving at all, or it has minimum displacement. So it is also called as node. So in this portion, we are getting one node, second node, and third node. So we are getting three nodes here. Nodes means the point in a medium at which the displacement of a particle is minimum or zero. Now look at this portion of the wave which is traveling certain distance in downward direction, then it is again returning, it is covering some distance in upward direction, and the distance which is covered by this particle is almost maximum. No other point of the medium is covering larger than this displacement. So we will say that the displacement of this point is maximum. The Another similar point you will get here. This point is having maximum displacement. So if it is having maximum displacement, so we will say that this is your antinode. This point is your antinode where the displacement is maximum. This point is your antinode where displacement is maximum. So in this section, we are getting 3 nodes and 2 antinodes. And that's how a stationary wave forms in a medium. Next, nodes and antinodes. So we have seen that when a stationary wave forms in a medium, there are certain points of a medium at which displacement of a particle is minimum. These points are called as nodes. And in this diagram, you can say that this solid line is traveling towards right direction, and after hitting this rigid wall, it is reflecting back, and this incident wave, that is solid line, and this is dash line, are going to superimposed with each other, and the resultant what we will get is called as a stationary wave or a standing wave. And there are certain points at which particles are having minimum displacement. That point is called as node. And there are certain points of the medium at which particles will cover maximum displacement. These points are called as node. And node and antinode are formed alternately when a stationary wave forms in a medium. So antinode are the point of the medium at which displacement of the particles are maximum. So here node, antinode, node, antinode, these points we will get alternately. After node you are going to get antinode, and after antinode you are going to get node. There are no two nodes you will found one after another. In between the two nodes there should be an antinode. So two nodes, in between the two nodes there are antinodes, and in between two antinodes there must be a node. So node and antinodes are alternately forms in a given medium. So next we are going to see the properties of stationary waves. The very first property of a stationary wave is the definition of a stationary wave itself, and it is when two identical waves, either transverse or longitudinal, traveling along the same path in opposite direction, interfere with each other, the resultant wave is called stationary wave or standing wave. So two identical wave, the two wave should be of equal amplitude and of equal frequency. That is the identical wave. If a two waves are having same amplitude and same frequency, traveling along the same path but in opposite direction, interfere with each other, the resultant wave is called as a stationary wave. And a stationary wave will be look like this. This is shown in this diagram. So the next property of a stationary wave is if two identical transverse progressive wave superimposed or interfere, the resultant wave is a transverse stationary wave. So if two identical transverse progressive wave superimposes or interfere with each other, the resultant wave is transverse stationary wave. And the next property, the sub point of this property is when a transverse stationary wave is produces on a string, some point on the string are motionless. The point which do not move are called nodes. So this is the example of transverse stationary wave. We have two transverse wave traveling in opposite direction, and when they will interfere with each other, they are producing transverse stationary wave. And there are certain points of the medium at which the displacement is minimum, like this point. Look at this red pointer on the screen. This point is not moving at all. So this point is having minimum displacement. It is called as node. Similarly, the next node we are getting here, this point is also not moving from its position, and the displacement of this point is minimum. So this is node. The displacement of this point is minimum. So this point is also called as node. So these are the points at which displacement is minimum, and these points are called as node. Now look at this point. This point is traveling a maximum distance in upward direction as well as in downward direction. So this point is called as node. The point of the medium which has maximum displacement is called as antinode. Similarly, there is another antinode we are getting here. So this point is also covering the maximum displacement. So this is also called as stationary wave. This is the example of transverse stationary wave. The next point is, there are some points on the string which oscillate with greatest amplitude, say A, they called antinodes. Now we are saying that the point which are oscillating with larger amplitude, maximum amplitude, and that amplitude is A, and these points are called as antinode. The points between the node and antinode vibrate with the value of amplitudes between 0 and A. Nodes vibrate with the amplitude 0, 0 amplitude. Antinodes vibrate with amplitude equals to A. And the point between node and antinode will vibrate with the values of amplitude between 0 and A. So in order to understand this, we are going to see the animation again. Nodes are having 0 amplitude while antinode are having maximum amplitude, and we will say that that maximum value is capital A. Now look at the point, look at the particle in between antinode and node. This particle, and this particle. Now, this particle is having maximum amplitude. This particle is covering a certain distance in downward, and then it is moving in upward, but it is not covering the same distance as covered by this antinode particle. So this particle is having an amplitude less than A. Again, when you will move towards node, the amplitude of the particle is going to decrease. Now this particle is covering certain distance in upward and certain distance is downward, but its amplitude is smaller than the previous particle. So antinodes are having maximum amplitude, that is capital A. Nodes are having minimum amplitude, that is 0. And the particle in between nodes and antinodes are the amplitude in between A and 0, 0 and A. So this particle has an amplitude greater than 0 but less than A. This particle is having the amplitude greater than 0 but less than A. This particle is having the amplitude greater than 0 and less than A. So these are the particles between node and antinode. So what we are saying here, what we have seen in that animation is the point between nodes and antinodes vibrate with the values of amplitude between 0 and A. So this diagram is showing the transverse stationary wave. The red wave is traveling in one direction and the blue wave is traveling to the opposite of that direction. And this black wave is your stationary wave. When the crust of blue and red and trough of these two waves met with each other, we will get maximum amplitude. And when these two, red and blue, are out of phase, we will get minimum amplitude. This point is not moving, or we will say that the amplitude of this point is minimum. So this is called as node, and the amplitude of this point is maximum. So we will call it as antinode, and the particle between node and antinode having the amplitude in between 0 and A. So this is your transverse stationary wave. Now, next property we are going to study. So if two identical longitudinal progressive wave superimposes or interfere, the resultant wave is a longitudinal stationary wave. So in longitudinal wave, there is no crust and trough, there is compression and rarefaction. When longitudinal progressive wave superimposes with each other, they will produce longitudinal stationary wave. Now, the first subpoint in this section is the point of the medium at which the displacement of the particle is minimum or zero are called as node. Now, in longitudinal stationary wave, there are certain points at which particles are having minimum amplitude. These points are called as nodes. We are going to see these nodes in one of our animation. First, just we are going through these points. Now the second point is the point of the medium at which the displacement of the particle is maximum are called as antinode. Now nodes and antinodes, we will get them here also, and the point between the nodes and antinodes vibrate with the values of amplitude between 0 and A. Now this animation shows us longitudinal stationary wave. So longitudinal, the very top animation is the longitudinal stationary wave, and this middle diagram is showing the variation of the displacement of the particle, and the bottommost graph is showing the variation of pressure. So if you will look at this point, there is a small red dot is there, and this small red dot is not moving from its point or not displacing from its position. So we'll say that this red particle is having minimum displacement, and if it is minimum displacement, then it is called as node. And this red point, this second red particle is having maximum amplitude, and if it is a maximum amplitude, so this point is called as antinode, and the particle between node and antinode, all these particles will vibrate with the amplitude between 0 and A. Next property of stationary wave is the distance between two adjacent nodes is lambda by 2. Now look at this diagram. The distance between two adjacent or two successive nodes is lambda by 2. So this is the first node here, and just after this node we are getting antinode and then node. So these first two nodes are called as two successive nodes, and the distance between these two nodes is lambda by 2, because one crust, look at this solid line, one crust and one trough equals to lambda. One crust and one trough will be producing two loops here, but we are talking about the two successive nodes, that is one loop, and that distance between one loop or the distance between the two nodes is lambda by 2, half of its wavelength. If there are two loops, the distance is lambda. If there is one loop, the distance is half lambda or lambda by 2. Similarly, the distance between two adjacent antinodes is lambda by 2. Now, what is the two successive antinode? This is first antinode, this is second antinode, and the distance between these two antinode is also lambda by 2. So we will say that the distance between two successive nodes and the distance between two successive antinode both are same, and these are lambda by 2. The distance between two successive antinode and the distance between two successive nodes are same, and that is lambda by 2. The distance between node and adjacent antinode. This node and this antinode are node and adjacent. Node and adjacent antinode. So the distance between node and adjacent antinode. This is your node. This is your antinode. And the distance between this node and adjacent antinode will be half the distance between two successive nodes. You can clearly see here the distance between two successive nodes, that means from this node to this, the distance is lambda by 2. And now we are going to measuring the distance between node and adjacent antinode. So it should be half of this distance, that is half of lambda by 2 is lambda by 4. So we will say that the distance between node and adjacent antinode is lambda by 4. The distance between two successive nodes and the distance between two successive antinodes is lambda by 2. So the next property of a stationary wave is all the particles vibrate with different amplitude, but their frequency is same. So in order to understand this, we are going to see the animation. Now in this animation, the first wave is traveling towards right, the second wave is traveling towards left. Both are traveling in the same path but in opposite direction, and after superimposing with each other, they are producing a stationary wave. And in a stationary wave, all the particles vibrate with different amplitude, but their frequency is same. So this particle, this is one of the particle here, this is another particle, this is your another particle, and this particle. So these are certain particles of a medium. So this particle is covering certain distance in upward direction also, and then after reaching the maximum distance in upward direction, it is coming back in downward direction. Then it will cover a certain distance in downward direction. So this particle is covering a certain distance. Now look at this particle. This particle of the rope will cover in certain distance in upward direction. Then after reaching the maximum point, it is coming back again in downward direction, and it is oscillating like this. This particle is oscillating like this, and this particle is not moving at all. All the four particles here are having different amplitude. This particle is having 0 amplitude. Then this particle has the amplitude greater than 0, and this particle is having the amplitude greater than previous two particle, and this particle is having maximum amplitude. So all the particles are having different amplitude, but their frequency is same. What do you mean by frequency? Frequency is nothing but number of vibration. So if this particle covers or perform one vibration, second and third particle will also perform one vibration. If this particle perform two vibration, second and third particle also perform two vibration. So the number of vibration performed by this particle will be same. So we'll say that the frequency of these particles are same, but their amplitude is different. So all the particles vibrate with different amplitude, but their frequency is same. So the next property is, though all the particles except those at the nodes possess energy, there is no propagation of energy. The wave is localized and its velocity is zero. Therefore, we call it a stationary wave or standing wave. All particles possess some energy, but except those which are at nodes. And the wave is localized at a particular place. In order to understand this point, let us see this animation again. Here all particles are vibrating. That means all are having certain energy. But note, the particle which are at nodes are not vibrating. That means it do not have any energy. But this wave is not traveling in forward direction. Look at the first wave, look at the second wave. You can visualize or you can say that this wave is traveling in right direction, and while looking at the second wave you can say that this direct wave is traveling in left direction. So first and second wave are traveling, but this third wave is your stationary wave, and you can clearly say that this wave is not traveling in anywhere. Neither it is traveling in forward direction nor it is traveling in backward direction. This wave is confined in this section also. It is not traveling in forward direction. It is not traveling in backward direction. So that's why it is called as stationary wave or standing wave, because there is no net flow of energy or the velocity is zero. If the velocity is zero, that means the wave is stationary. The last property is, all the particles of the same loop vibrates in phase, while the particle in adjacent loop vibrate out of phase. Now what do you mean by phase? Phase is nothing but the direction of motion of particle. In order to understand this point, let us see this animation. The arrows here, these blue arrows indicating the direction of motion of particle. Now we will say that this is crest of this wave and this is the trough of this wave. And while this wave is vibrating, the loop is forming. So in adjacent loop, this is your first loop, this is your second loop. So this crust is going to convert in trough. So while it is converting in trough, all the particles will move in downward direction. While in adjacent loop, all the particles will move in upward direction. So the direction of motion of the particle in a single loop, in a same loop, is in same direction. So the direction of this particle is also in upward. The direction of this particle is also in upward. The direction of motion of this particle is upward. The direction of motion of this particle is downward. The direction of motion of this particle is downward. The direction of motion of these particles is downward. So if the particles are in the same loop, that means look at this point of time. Now this trough is going to convert in crust, so all the particles of the medium is going to move in upward, while these particles are going to move in downward. Now let's see in slow motion. These points are going to move in upward direction and these points are going to move in downward direction. So the direction of motion of the particles of the same loop is same. So we will say that all the particles within the loop is vibrate with same phase, but this vibration of the particle is in upward direction and this vibration of the particle is in downward direction. So we'll say that the particles of adjacent loop vibrate out of phase. So let us see one more time. These particles are going to move in upward direction and these particles are going to move in downward direction. So if they are moving in opposite direction, so adjacent loop, if it is adjacent loop, then the particle will vibrate out of phase, and if it is a same loop, then particle will vibrate with phase. So that's it. That is the properties of a stationary wave. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. If you learned something new, please subscribe this channel and see you soon.